I'm going to keep betting on Mookie hitting behind Shohei, and if they keep giving him opportunities, I know he's going to come through.
We have to get to the first thing that everyone's wondering about, and that's a shakeup to the lineup. Can you walk me through some of the decisions?
Yeah, I think the first part, I wanted to try to create a little bit more offense, and then if you look at the 9-hole Alex calls in the lineup, and I felt that having somebody who has an on-base pedigree, I feel like he'll give those good at-bats for Yusevich and whoever else to potentially give somebody on base for Shohei. So I think that's one part of it. And then with Will and Mookie, I just felt that I wanted to give these guys a different look. I think Will, to be quite frank, is swinging the bat better. And so give him another look, and texted both those guys last night, and they gave me the thumbs up and ready to go.
This best of 7 has become a best of 3. The Dodgers and the Blue Jays, Game 5 from LA. In Los Angeles on an 86-degree night, we're ready for Game 5, and when the series is tied 2-2, the Game 5 winner goes on to win the World Series 2/3 of the time. They've won 6 of the last 7 after taking Game 5 in a 2-2 series.
You know what I love about Game 5 of a World Series? Throw away the stats. Now you're seeing everybody for the second time. It's time to adjust, read and react. And that's what Blake Snell has an opportunity to do. He was dominant before. Coming in here 3-0, he had one hiccup, and he's got a chance to make the adjustment.
How about Davis Schneider leading off in a World Series game? He is going to be up first tonight with Blake Snell on the mound. Game 5 is underway with a fly ball to deep left. Gone! The first pitch of the ball game, and Davis Schneider has hit it out.
A first pitch homer for Davis Schneider, and the Blue Jays take the lead in the first. Welcome to Game 5.
Davis Schneider into George Springer's shoes and doing a great impression. How about that? Ready for a first pitch fastball and an ambush to start Game 5 with a bang. First home run of the postseason for Davis Schneider, who's just 3 for 16 in the playoffs, but he is the latest guy to step into a role for Toronto and come through.
And the Blue Jay fans making a ton of noise, and now Guerrero rips one to deep left, and it's gone. And 2 batters in, they are up 2-0.
Back-to-back blasts in the first, and in 3 pitches, the Blue Jays lead 2-0. What in the world are we watching right now?
You wonder, when 2 heavyweights are going at each other, who is going to deliver the first blow? Well, they were ready to hit the fastball. You felt like Snell was going to establish his fastball tonight because he didn't do that in Toronto.
The 705th World Series game all time. This is the first time that a team has gone back-to-back home runs to begin.
Guerrero frappe la balle, c'est les mains de direction de champ gauche. Circuit, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Aïe, 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 Vladi frappe son 8e circuit des présentes séries, vient rejoindre Shohei Ohtani. Et 3 lancés dans le match, 2 balles frappées avec aplomb. Quel début de match pour les Jets bleus!
What an incredible start here in Game 5.
And here's Trey Savage.
Trey Savage did not have his split finger. That pitch is as good as it gets. And for him to have that pitch is the only way he can get through this Dodgers lineup, unless that fastball is electric and pinpointed.
He lunges 4 innings in Game 1. Gets a lot of chase when he's right. The Dodgers were very patient. Walked 3 times, and he threw 20 pitches per inning. 2-2 on Ohtani. And a 2-0 game already.
Bounce back to the hill. Yusevich leaps, pops out of his glove. He catches it again and shovel passes it over to first in time for the out. Even trying to get Ohtani when he somewhat fumbled it. Yusevich stays cool, and he's chuckling as he goes back to the hill. 1 out. Here's Will Smith, bumped up in the Dodger order.
There's a fly ball to left field that he hooks off the end of the bat a touch, and Davis Schneider will put it away. All right, so Mookie Betts hitting third for the first time in years. Dave Roberts trying to take a little bit of pressure off of him with everything funneling to him. And Betts just 147 since the start of the championship series. Savage home with an 0-2, and he strikes him out, finishing off a 1-2-3 first inning, and a first inning for the Blue Jays that could not have gone better.
And with 1 out, Addison Barger steps in to go left on left with Blake Snell.
Barger right side and through. Addison Barger, 5 hits over the first 2+ games here in LA.
John Schneider looks like an absolute genius right now. Davis Schneider's in the ballgame for Nathan Lucas. He hit a home run, keeping Addison Barger in this ballgame left on left. He comes up with a knock right there.
Isaiah Kiner-Falefa getting a start again at second base, sitting in the 8th spot. He is looking for his first hit of the World Series.
2-2 is popped up down the line. Teoscar Hernandez, see if he's got room. He does. 2 out. Andres Jimenez knocked in a run in the 7th inning last night.
Strikes him out swinging with a high fastball at 97. So Snell strands Barger's 1-out single. Puts up a 0 in the second. Still 2-0 Jays.
That splitter looks a lot better.
Already has the feel of the pitch that we got to see against the Yankees and really against Seattle.
Swing and a miss. And that's his second strikeout of the start. 1 out in the bottom of the second.
It is very difficult as a major league pitcher to make Shohei Ohtani look bad, to make Mookie Betts look bad, and to make Freddie Freeman look bad. Trey Savage has done all 3 of those things in this ballgame so far.
Teoscar Hernandez 0 for 7 in the first 2 games of this World Series, but 5 out of 11 with a home run since coming here to Dodger Stadium.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. There's the slider, and he punches out Hernandez 3 in a row and 2 down in the bottom of the second.
That one right there might have been the best slider I have ever seen him throw.
And Savage has struck out 3 consecutive batters.
Edmund with 2 away and the bases empty. Dodgers looking for their first base runner.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Trey Savage strikes out this side. He's punched out 4 in a row in 2 6-up, 6-down innings in LA.
After the 2 home runs over the first 3 pitches, how deep can he get? Heard you pitchers talk about it. It's not always the 8 shutout innings that you love. It's those games where you got punched.
Yeah.
You still found a way to help your team win.
Absolutely. I mean, he's 3-0 before that first World Series start, dominating. This would be a better start than any of those 3 starts that he won if he held them to 2 runs and his team came back and won.
He strikes out Kirk. And after the 2 home runs to start the game, he's got 4 strikeouts and nothing since. Meanwhile, Trey Savage, perhaps boosted by that early offense, going out there pitching with the lead, has retired the first 6 and has struck out 4 in a row. He strikes out Muncy with a slider to the knees, and it's 5 in a row.
Muncy barking up the first baseline. He didn't like it. 5 Ks in a row, 1 down.
Trey Savage looks like a different pitcher than the one we saw in Toronto for Game 1. Kike Hernandez, 1 out, nobody on.
Here's a high drive. Forget about it. Kike Hernandez finds the seats.
And the Dodgers are within a run. That's a quarter of the way up the pavilion for Kike Hernandez, who has launched his first home run of the postseason to give Dodger Stadium some much-needed life.
And what was Dave Roberts talking about? Hitting mistakes. That's what Kike does.
He's been working on keeping that front shoulder in, and boy, did he. Fastball location. Obviously, a pitcher knows right now he's just looking for a new ball. You don't have to turn around and see how far it goes. You know when you release it.
Hernandez giving the Dodgers a jolt. Back to the top of the order, Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani 0 for 3 yesterday. In the losses in the postseason for the Dodgers is 1 for 12.
And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ohtani loses his helmet on this splitter, and Savage bounces back after giving up the solo shot to Kike Hernandez. Varsho hit a 2-run homer off Snell in Game 1. It was a fastball fat right over the middle of the plate. Swing and a fly ball hooked down the right field line. On the run, Teoscar Hernandez slides and it's down, rolling onto the side warning track. Varsho hits the bag at second. He wants third. Hernandez picking it up now, and Varsho takes a look and stops at third with a leadoff triple.
That's a bad play by Teoscar Hernandez. You know you're not going to catch it, and you have to play it on a hop and keep it to a single. It's going to be scored a triple.
And this is another gap in this series. We mentioned the Blue Jays have not made an error in their last 9 games. That's not going to show up as an error, but Dodgers not tight on defense.
Infield plays back. Ernie Clement is up. A ground ball could score a run with Varsho on third.
Clement lines a ball to center field. Kike Hernandez makes the catch. Here comes Varsho. Hernandez's throw flat-footed, has no chance, and the Blue Jays take advantage of the defensive misplay to make it 3-1.
And that's no small item. And the Dodgers had rallied to cut it to half with that home run.
Man, you could not have a better contrast right there. Mistake defensively for the Dodgers, and then the Blue Jays immediately make them pay for it.
Savage has allowed one hit on a solo homer to Kike Hernandez and punched out 6 in 3 innings. And he got him, struck him out on a slider, 1 out.
I mean, it's getting ridiculous at this point. He's made one mistake to Kike Hernandez, but other than that, he's been on for the majority of this game.
That is 8 strikeouts for Trey Savage.
They might have seen him in game 1, but they did not see this guy. This is almost like they're facing a completely different guy with a completely different repertoire.
2-strike pitch. Bounced to home plate and it hit Freeman. Slider was spiked, got Freddie Freeman on the outside of his right leg, and a lifeline to Freeman there as he's on first after being behind 0-2.
So he's now on first, so the tying run comes to the plate.
Roll up the middle. Jimenez gets there, has no play. Infield hit Teoscar Hernandez. And they're at first and second with 2 away.
So the Dodgers trying to rally with 2 outs in this 4th inning. They've been searching for an inning to build.
Now the Dodgers had traffic in yesterday's game, but went 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, and that has been the single biggest issue in this World Series. These situations. Pop fly back of the diamond, and Trey Savage, first time there's a little pressure against him, does not break. They strand 2.
Following the back-to-back homers to begin the game, both starters have been really impressive, and now we'll see the rookie Trey Savage again, who's allowed a run on 2 hits, 3 base runners total in 4 innings, and he has struck out 8 in his 4 innings of work. Starts the bottom of the 5th. 2-2. Hit on the ground right side, picked up at second by IKF, throws to the covering Savage for the out. Really heads up from the 22-year-old. Vladdy went after it, ended up lifting his glove because he didn't have as good of a chance as IKF. IKF delivered a nice throw to Savage on the run, 1 out. Here's Kike Hernandez, the reason the Dodgers are on the board. He hit a solo homer in the 3rd. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a splitter in the dirt. 9 Ks in 4 2/3 for Trey Savage, 2 down.
Look at Trey Savage. Tons of confidence out there, tons of swag.
Fly out to center field the first time for Call. First start since the last game of the division series.
Check swing, pitch in the dirt, appeal to first. He went! 10 Ks in 5 innings for Trey Savage. On to the 6th inning we go. Blue Jays 3, Dodgers 1.
10 strikeouts for Trey Savage over the first 5 innings. The only time that's ever been accomplished. Game 1 of the 1963 World Series at Yankee Stadium. And that man right there, Sandy Koufax.
Ohtani asks for time. He's 0 for 2 in this game. Comebacker to the mound and a strikeout swinging. And it's ripped on a line to right, charging. Barger dives! Did he get it? He did! Addison Barger! Racing to right center to rob a hit from Ohtani. Ohtani hit it a mere 117 miles an hour, and Barger had the wherewithal to make the play, 1 out.
Making him do that. Trey Savage can do no wrong. They're either missing or they're hitting it, and his defense making plays for him.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 11 Ks for Trey Savage. 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. He's shredding right now in game 5.
Well, he's shredding, and he is stomping around that mound out there.
He has now tied Smokey Joe Wood for the most strikeouts in a World Series game for a pitcher 22 or younger. Smokey in 1912. Savage in 2025.
On the ground, it's Chopper to third. Charging Clement takes it on the high hop, slings to first, and that's a 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th for Trey Savage. And Snell on 92 pitches will remain in this game. There is a right-hander up in the pen, but probably part of the reasoning. Bottom third of the Blue Jay order, 2 left-handed hitters, 2 up for the Blue Jays, starting with Addison Barger in this top of the 7th. 2-2. Bounce left side, and it sneaks through down the left field line. Barger tearing around first. Big turn. He'll go back to the bag. They were shifting him away from third, so he had a big gap in between Muncy and the bag, and he shot it. Call with a good play and left to get it back in. Leadoff single.
He has reached base all 3 times in this game 5.
IKF takes in the dirt, and Barger off on the dirt ball. Smith can't find it. It's right in front of home. Barger into second on a wild pitch. He took off early, reading that the curveball was going to be spiked, and Smith was spinning around as the ball was right in front of him.
And now if Kiner Falefa can even just hit a ground ball to the right side, it'll move Barger to third.
The payoff pitch. Bouncing ball left side. Betts is there. Running throw in time. Runner stays at second.
Now we'll see if Andres Gimenez can come up clutch again. Runner on second, 1 out, top of the 7th inning.
Popped out of his hand, and his 4th walk of the game will set it up for the top of the order and likely end his night. No, Mark Pryor instead.
Yeah,
to buy a little time.
I don't know if they would rather face Lucas here.
Yeah, so I guess the question is Snell against Schneider or Henriquez against Lucas.
Right.
Blake Snell has looked good, even though he's deep into this start, 110 pitches. This is the last start of his season. Just let it eat to Davis Schneider. And then if Davis Schneider gets on base, you bring in the righty to face Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
The 1-2. Did it hit him? No, it just bounced off Smith and rolled away. And Barger with another great dirt ball read takes off for third. Make it a second wild pitch in the inning. Addison Barger has found his way from first to third on 2 spiked curveballs by Blake Snell.
I mean, this kid just does it all. Everything. He is showing off everything in this ball game. A diving catch, a couple of dirt ball reads, and now that very, very important 4th run of the ball game is standing at third base.
A 3-2 to Davis Schneider. Got him with a change. And that will be the end of the line for Blake Snell. Dave Roberts will go down to his young flame-throwing righty Henriquez as Snell finishes off his night with his 7K.
The hard-throwing righty faces Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with runners on first and third and 2 outs. Vladdy trying to cash in Barger.
Payoff pitch to Vlad Jr. Overthrows it to the backstop, and here comes Barger. 4-1 Toronto. A single and 3 wild pitches to allow Barger to go first to home.
That was not your typical Dodgers inning. But the fear of making a great pitch to a great hitter, and the feeling that a manager has when he watches a runner go first, second, third, home without a hit.
And the Blue Jays have the insurance with a pitcher on the mound who looks unhittable.
Jimenez on second and Guerrero on first. They want to add more. Bichette to the plate, and the pitch is lined. Slicing down and right. Base hit! Coming around third, Jimenez. Vladdy going first to third. Jimenez in to score. Vladdy slides into third. RBI single, Bo Bichette. It's the Blue Jays 5, the Dodgers 1 in the top of the 7th.
And the Blue Jays have another multi-run inning. And for the second night in a row, a Dodger reliever comes in, and the 2 inherited runners both come in.
Trey Savage back out for his 7th inning. Has not allowed a base runner since the 4th. That was an infield hit. Only hit to the outfield he's allowed all game was the Kike homer in the 3rd.
Freddie Freeman leads off.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A dozen Ks for your Savage.
And in the process, he sets a major league record. Most strikeouts in a World Series game ever by a rookie with 12.
I mean, it just keeps getting better and better. What a performance so far from Trey Savage.
And this is going to be an infield hit for Teoscar Hernandez.
It's only the 3rd hit tonight the Dodgers have been able to muster.
Just a 4th base runner. This is the bottom of the 7th inning.
And that's why those 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning are so important for the Blue Jays. That changes the way Trey Savage is going to attack Tommy Edman and potentially Max Muncy behind him. He knows that these guys aren't the tying run, so you want to throw strikes, you want to pound that strike zone.
Chopper to third, Clement to second, over to first, double play, a World Series masterpiece.
5-4-3. Savage threw 7, and it's 5-1 Blue Jays in Game 5 of the World Series.
About a month and a half ago, nobody outside of the most diehard Blue Jays fans or prospect fans would have known the name Trey Savage. Everybody going to know him now. 12 strikeouts in Game 5 of the World Series, and he holds the defending champions to just a run over 7 innings.
You don't see this kind of thing. A guy this young and this inexperienced doing this on this stage. This doesn't happen.
This humble young man has set some records that are going to be tough to match.
He's never going to forget that game, and neither are the fans of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Extra base for Toronto. The biggest game of the Dodgers year, and they have come out like it is the middle of summer with how sloppy they have played.
Yep, it's been a group effort.
Instead of a double play, runner on third, 1 out. And giving extra teams bases in 90 feet to any team, but especially the best team in the American League and the best offense in baseball, is a bold strategy.
Kind of for left past the drawn in infield to make it 6-1. Single, wild pitch, productive out, and then kind of for left his first hit of the World Series. Now these 5 runs the Jays now lead by. The way the Dodger offense is going feels like 50.
And the Blue Jays are an out away. 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. Teoscar Hernandez, the former Blue Jays, the last hope for the Dodgers.
Got him! Jeff Hoffman finishes it off. And the Blue Jays come into LA, take 2 out of 3 here, beating them tonight 6-1, and they're up 3 games to 2 in the World Series.
What a ball game. Back-to-back home runs for the Blue Jays to start the game. Davis Schneider getting a start. Hit the first pitch against Blake Snell out of the ballpark. Vladdy went back-to-back, and what about Trey Yesavage? A historic start for the rookie. 7 innings, 1 run on 3 hits, no walks, and a record 12 strikeouts. And the Blue Jays indeed have a 3-2 lead in this World Series.